Don't you love looking at these homes? I'm sitting in here watching it firsthand, first time I've seen it, and I still get excited when I look at the properties, the quality of homes that we've got in South Australia. It's just amazing. Now, Stuart Mosley's here, President of the Urban Development Institute of Australia, South Australian branch. And I've got a few more questions for you, Stuart.
Sure thing.
Since we've got you, this is exclusive to TV. So, by the way, feel free to throw something in that we don't know. Any government decisions that we should know about? Or shouldn't know about that we can know?
No, there's one. There will be a series of rezonings around the inner metropolitan area that have been underway in 6 of the inner metro councils for some time. There's likely to be public consultation on those towards the end of this year. So you may have seen it in the local messengers. They've been, Unley, Norwood, Prospect, West Torrens, Charles Sturt, they've all been talking about upzoning in key areas to get more investment, particularly in the apartment markets. So keep an eye out for those. There will definitely be opportunities in that for people looking to invest or develop.
Now, given all the red tape, Stuart, my question always is, when would you actually see buildings coming out of the ground by the time you go through all of the carry-on?
Yes, it's not quick. So to take a piece of unzoned land and to take it through the pipeline of zoning, approvals, marketing, securing finance and getting the bulldozers out, if you can do that in 3 to 5 years, you're doing exceptionally well. And in practice, particularly for large rezonings on the urban fringe, it takes a lot longer than that. So these rezonings I mentioned in the inner suburban councils, they've been under discussion with the councils for, to my knowledge, the best part of 2 years, and they're not halfway through yet. So it takes time. But these things affect people's lives and people's investments, and local government rightly scrutinises them closely. So, you can't rush it too much, but we do think it could be faster than it is.
Great, excellent. Now, let's go. City revitalisation investment opportunities, where would you do it?
I would look for opportunities in what used to be called the fringe of the CBD. So it's that area sort of broadly southeast and southwest of Victoria Square. In that area, you might see there's cranes on the skyline now, and a lot of old industrial, manufacturing, panel beating, storage places, big tin sheds on big blocks. Yep. They're ripe for redevelopment into mixed use and apartment development, and that's something that the council and the government have encouraged, and you can see it as you walk around those areas, sort of southwest of the central market, southeast of Victoria Square.
If you're a person coming into Adelaide, you'd have to be impressed with the number of cranes currently right there as you arrive, isn't it?
Look, it is, particularly given the economic climate has been tough. If you look down North Terrace, the number and value of projects under construction there, very significant, and the government's to be given credit for that. But there's also cranes on the skyline elsewhere, south of North Terrace, which indicates the confidence that investors have in the long-term proposition that the city offers.
Now, Stuart, apartment living, what are the issues for the buyers?
Well, moving into a compact and well-located apartment is a thing that more and more people will consider, particularly with the financial incentives that are on offer. Our experience is that not everyone is suited to that form of living, and you need to be very carefully understanding.
Is that anti-social people, or is it?
No, it's more people to take on a very practical level. If you've lived in a 4-bedroom house in Burnside for the last 20 years, it's in all likelihood your furniture is going to be too big to fit into a modern designed apartment. Lots of people love it, take to it like a duck, into water.
Yep.
But others, you need to know that you're moving into a different form of living environment with real advantages in terms of access and city vitality and low maintenance costs and all of those things. But equally, you can't expect to take with you your Burnside backyard, and the things that go with that. So we're very keen as an industry group to put products into the marketplace that meet people's needs. Those needs are changing, but buyers need to be very aware, as you do when you're buying a house, of what they need to look for to suit their needs.
And I know Sydney's apartment market is very mature, and basically the price differential there's hardly anything because the apartments are inner city, so they're higher priced. Do you think Adelaide's market will mature quickly or over the next 15 or 20 years?
I think it'll be the latter. I think it'll be a long-term process as our apartment construction industry gears up, as people become more familiar with it. Things like the community title tenure model, which is different to Torrens title, people will get more familiar and accepting of this, and over that sort of time frame we'll find much more take-up of those options.
Okay. Final question, retirement living choices.
A lot of our members are very active in meeting the booming need for retirement living, and there are a whole lot of choices on offer. People often think retirement living equals retirement village. It doesn't. There's all sorts of choices ranging from essentially purpose designed houses that might be smaller on a small block with, you know, grab rails and things, right through to, you know, apartment style retirement living and everything in between. So the industry is providing an increasing range of choices. If you're looking to retire into a smaller house, there is bound to be a product type that suits you. Once again, it's about deciding what you need and then finding it in the marketplace. People ought not to assume that there's one form of retirement living only, and that is a retirement village.
And do you think the apartment market will start to modify to, you know, account of, you know, allow for that, like wheelchair sort of access right through?
Yep. We'll see universal design principles applied to normal apartments. We'll also see more retirement living complexes in a vertical stacked format.
Yep.
And we're seeing some of those emerging already, Waterford and on Stattenborough, which are around the sort of 3, 4, 5 story mark. We'll see more of that in, you know, premium locations, giving retirees you know, the quality of life that they need in a form that hasn't previously been available.
Okay, and just before you go, you're around the Christmas table, you're talking to your family, they know that you're a guru in this space, and one of the nephews pipes up and says, "Stuart, what do? I've got some money, where shall I put it?"
Look, I think you'd be hard pressed to do better than some of the apartment offerings that are around at the moment, with the concessions I referred to earlier, and potentially a Commonwealth rental affordability scheme concession as well. There's some very good financial incentives coupled with competitive prices that, as an investment proposition, will be very hard to beat. So I'd look for a city apartment in the short term.
Great tip. Thanks very much, Stuart.
Pleasure.
Now let's go and look at some hot property. Well, that's the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, we are getting very close to Christmas and there is still time to sell, but you do need to get your skates on. We look forward to hearing from you very, very soon. Now, next week we go to Kensington Park, where we're looking at one of Adelaide's iconic properties. It is enormous, a fantastic property. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, 1 o'clock, live and interactive. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at some hot properties.